Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show, where I bring you new providers, new technologies, and introduce you to the best professionals in the industry, all so you can make informed decisions. Today, I'd like to welcome Kyle Howard, the Director of Solutions Consulting for UJET, the sponsor of the Top Gun Show. Kyle has led sales engineering teams in pre-sales, CX, CCaaS, conversational AI, and generative AI with companies such as Core AI, Intellipeer, Nice in Contact, and Earthbend. Kyle knows his stuff. Welcome to the Top Gun Show, my friend.
Thanks so much, Steve. It's great to be here.
Nice to have you on. You've got an incredible resume. I mean, you're probably one of the most experienced pre-sales sales engineers I've ever met in your space. What led you to join the team at UJET?
You know, it was, they were really tough to sell against. Just really tough to sell against. And what I found was that from a technology perspective, some of the things that UJET's doing and the way that the platform is architected just kind of blew my mind in the space. You know, coming from as a guy who started off, you know, in IT, running contact centers, and then kind of working my way into sales engineering. Some of the stuff that we were doing was really unique.
That's great. That's great. Well, let's talk about that. Lift up the hood of the engine a little bit for us here. What intellectual property or secret sauce do you have at UJET that excited you to join the company?
Yeah, so the way that the platform was architected, you know, kind of from the ground up to take advantage of cloud native functionality. So microservices, the ability to scale on demand, just kind of removing some of the typical baggage that exists in some of the more traditional CCaaS players. But really also just the overall approach that the way that we as an industry in contact center force our customers or end customers to interact with our customers is broken. I mean, 90% of the people today use a mobile device. And we as an industry have done a really poor job of taking advantage of the capabilities that are there. And that's something that I thought was really unique in the way that UJET's positioned and the way that we can leverage it as just another seamless extension of the experience.
That's great, and I agree with you, man. That's a really great point. So what gives, with that technology, that unique technology, what gives you, UJET, an unfair advantage in the marketplace?
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of, you know, the ability to really quickly embed and enable contact center functionality or CX functionality into a customer's existing app, especially when we start to talk about, you know, a lot of digital first or digital forward customers and businesses today. You know, some of the other things that we see is that really starts to open up some other, you know, kind of key functions around just being able to use push notifications, send messages back and forth, request photos, streamline the overall experience. I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to solve a needs event, right? And that's why I call a contact center. That's why anybody calls or engages with someone's support. And so, you know, being able to use all of the tools to effectively meet that needs event is really important.
Yeah, I've been so impressed. UJET sponsored the Top Gun Show a couple years ago. And that was before your integration with Google and you know, your big build with Google. And now you've come back, in my opinion, 1,000 times stronger than you were a few years ago. So, and that's as evidenced by getting someone like you on the team. I mean, you're an incredibly talented and experienced guy. So for you to go, aha, they've got something that this industry needs. And the customers need, that's quite a big deal. So congratulations on your move there.
Thanks so much, Steve. And I guess I would kind of unpack that even just a little bit further, right? I think one of the things that we do that, you know, kind of adds to that uniqueness and that overall capability is if I look at some of the more traditional CCaaS players, you know, the conversation always seems to pivot around, you know, kind of the core traditional functionality like skills-based routing, attribute-based routing. And I think when we look at some of our capabilities, and again, I mean, the way that the platform was designed, our ability to add new features, our ability to, you know, integrate with our friends at Google, and leverage all of that technology, you know, we can kind of flip that conversation around, and instead of, you know, customers asking us for specific things that we as an industry have coached them to ask, we can say, how do you want it to look? And how do you want it to work? And that's where we start to get into AI-based routing and understanding intent and making sure that we can get people to the right agent as quickly and efficiently as possible based off of what's happening and what they want to accomplish. So I think it's really just all of those factors and the way that we can seamlessly tie those in so that that experience is the same regardless of where I come in. That to me is something that just doesn't exist in the marketplace today.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, Kyle, I'm going to ask you a personal question, but not too personal. I know there are millions and millions and millions of people watching this right now to find out a little known fact about yourself. What do you got?
Yeah, so in the middle of COVID, my family and I, we moved from Sioux Falls, South Dakota to west central Minnesota. So like this little town called Alexandria, Minnesota. It's kind of right at the edge of the prairie in the woods. And somewhere along those lines, man, I turned into a full-bore bird nerd. So my son and my daughter and I, we've got bird feeder set up. We've planted a bunch of wildflowers and different gardens all over, you know, on our property, and we sit there and catalog birds and watch them. So far, we've gotten 47 uniquely different species that we've observed in our backyard. So it's kind of a fun little hobby that's sort of turned into a thing. But
Well, I got to say, I've done over 900 interviews, and you're the first bird nerd I've ever had on the show. So that's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing that. And hey, I know you're busy because you guys are killing it at UJET. Thanks for carving out time out of your schedule to be on the show today. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, I'm so happy that you had me. Have a great one.
You too. Thanks for watching, everybody.